This class is not being taught underwater, but I do have a sinus infection. It's not going to stop me, inshallah. Bismillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا فمن يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد السلام عليكم. As always, a great honor, great privilege to be with this group. This is a session that we have formally dedicated to exploring the names and attributes of Allah, in spite of the fact that we haven't covered a new attribute in about 2 months. I think, which is the truth, we haven't covered a new attribute in about 2 months. 2 months, just the class starting and stopping. And I am extremely remorseful to report today will not be the day when we cover a new attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because I just wasn't able to prepare a class. And although I leave space for what we call in Arabic irtijal or wahy al-lahda, kind of the inspiration of the moment, or irtijal is like extemporizing, I like to have some, I actually extemporize well, but I usually look at the material, think about the material, jot down a few mental notes, and then from there, I can rely on motivation of the attendees, inspiration, that kind of. Today, I just wasn't able to do anything. So I wanted to leave the floor open. I do know that Ramadan is approaching. Last week, we spoke about Ramadan, and I spoke for like the entire hour and 20 minutes. So this week, I wanted to know if anybody had any questions. It could be about Ramadan, could be about anything else. Could just be something that someone would like to discuss. Bismillah. When you ask a question, it's tough.
No, man. I would like to tell everybody that off the top of my head.
Right.
So, this brother got history by 2 minutes.
Okay.
We're gonna be right until he came fast.
Uh-huh.
So I told him I'm the wrong person to tell. I said, well, I said, not because became Muslim. I was not.
Uh-huh.
It was 90. I did weights, I did basketball, I did track, I did that. So I'm telling him, you can't tell me you can't do that. But what was I do? Fast. That's all I can tell.
This is one of those things that there's fatwa and there's taqwa. In terms of the legal responsibility to fast, everyone is the arbiter of their own soul. So that if I said, oh, my stomach is hurting, oh, I'm sick, oh, I have a medical condition, there is no external authority that could dispute my claim. Right? This is literally the way that this goes in Islamic law. If I say, oh man, there's no external authority that can say, no, he's lying. But I have to know, God knows. God knows if I'm really medically incapable of fasting, or I just don't want to do it. So in the case of that brother, there's not much we can say to him other than it is your religious responsibility to fast for the sake of God. There are exemptions made for travelers and people that have illnesses, people that have medical conditions that don't allow them to fast. My personal preference, because Ramadan is so serious, is that if a person is going to seek a medical exemption from fasting, that exemption should be given by a trained physician. This is what I would recommend. They don't have to take my advice. But what I would recommend is that there should be someone with medical training that says to you, if you fast, this could be damaging. This could exacerbate an existing health condition that you have. So my recommendation as a medical professional is that you refrain from fasting. Somebody self-diagnosing, saying, well, I have religiously, that seems unsafe to me. Religiously, that seems unsafe to me. But no one can say that it's an invalid approach. You know, at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and you know, in the successive generations, this was something a person assessed for him or herself. It wasn't like they had doctors everywhere that could say, you have to fast, you don't. The person woke up and they felt like, I'm sick. Then that would be, you know, they wouldn't fast. You know, it's mentioned, I forget who this person was. But this was actually, and I don't want to destroy the reputation of Islamic scholarship, but you've had many scholars in Islam that did things just to make a point. You know, I once heard about the Syrian scholar that on Eid, he would walk down the street smoking a cigar. And if somebody looked at him and said, this is makruh, he would say, any of the karahiyya, anything disagreeable about smoking tobacco only becomes disagreeable if it's done habitually. If it's done habitually, it will ruin your health. If it's done habitually, it will waste your money. If it's done habitually, etc., etc. But if I do it once a year, it doesn't ruin my health. It doesn't waste my money. Right? Where's the karahiyya in that? Now, I would, you know what I'm saying? Right? I wouldn't do that. Right? I would do that. But there was this one scholar who he was arguing this point, and it was connected to a larger point for him, that there are things in the Sharia that Allah allows you to be the judge of yourself. So if I say I'm sick, I'm sick. There is no external authority that can say, no, you're not. So during the day, in the Ramadan, he sat down and he ate something. People said, this is hatku hurmati shahri Ramadan. This is a disrespect for the sacredness of the month of Ramadan. He raised his finger and said, no, my pinky is hurt. Okay. No, my pinky finger is hurt. And he did that. It was an outrage in the time. People wanted his head. How can he do this? No, I'm hurt. I'm telling you, my pinky is hurt. Okay. It's hurt, and I think I need to drink water at least once every 20 minutes just to, or something he said is just like ridiculous. But the point that he was making was that this is something a person gets to judge for him or herself. Now, what I would say to the brother is this: I would probably try to encourage him, try to inspire him. That look, if he's never done this before, if he's never fasted, and he is realistically apprehensive about the challenge of not eating and not drinking, which many people are, by the way. You know, I realize, you know, we don't realize, but those of us that have been practicing Islam for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, maybe since our childhood, maybe we had religious parents that would fast. This is so deeply inculcated. This is such a deep part of who we are that it's not even something we bat an eye at. Oh, Ramadan is coming. For someone that's never done this before, the task might seem daunting. Wait, you want me to not eat and not drink for 14 hours? It's impossible. I can't do it. I can't do it. Right? I mentor like 45 young men at Iman, almost all of them non-Muslim. And I was talking to them about fasting and self-control. And I was chatting. Now I've built a good rapport with these guys, right? I think that there's trust there. And I was encouraging them to fast. To a man, they each told me, I can't do it. I'm not even gonna try. I can't do that. And at that point, I realized those of us that Allah Ta'ala has given the tawfiq to fast, it's really a blessing, man. You know, the fact that Muslims across a wide spectrum of religiosity, meaning Muslims that are very religious to Muslims that are only mildly religious in their own self-definition, fast in the month of Ramadan. That's amazing. That's amazing. Like, we're witnessing something miraculous in that. And we don't even know we're watching. Allah said in the Quran, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. It is God who sent his messenger with guidance and the religion of truth to make it prevail over all other religions. Now, I'm going to say something that some of you might not like it. If you interpret this ayah through a socio-political, economic lens, it's not true. Muslims have already lost. If you interpret this ayah through a socio-political, economic lens, a martial lens, Muslims have already lost. But if you interpret this ayah through this religion will remain relevant to its adherents until the day of judgment, that there will always be a party of people practicing this religion until the day of judgment. That, one anthropologist told me, Islam is the only religion that's still socially alive. He said, almost every other religious community is in a folkloric stage of its existence. The religion is festivals, it's, parties. The religion is, but something that its adherents take it seriously enough to fast 14 hours a day for 30 days and not monks, not like micro-religious communities that you have this small group of people that are still very dedicated to the tradition. No, societies, civilizations. Islam is unique in the modern context in that regard. But somebody new to Islam, I can understand how this would be challenging. I would reach out to the brother. You can reach out to him on my behalf. Tell him I'll fast with him. I'll be his fasting buddy. We can check in through text every 2 hours. Are you maintaining? How is it going? Just try to keep going. And I would offer him a guarantee. If he can get through 2 or 3 days, after that it'll be easy. After that it'll be easy. And you have to think. And some of us, I don't know the brother, I don't know his background. We've sacrificed so much more for so less, for so little, for so much less. God is asking you to give up food and drink and sexual activity during the daylight hours. And when you think, and then God is saying, Man sama Ramadana, imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira ma taqaddama min dhanbi. And what you get for that, all of your sins will be forgiven. That's what he's going to give you for fasting, right? When we think about what we've sacrificed for so much less, we should feel ashamed. We should feel ashamed. Now, if the brother is just hesitant or he doubts his ability to maintain, somebody should intentionally befriend him and just kind of hold his hand in the first 2 days. And this is going to be easier than you think. And then I think sometimes as Muslims, we rely so heavily on spiritual, I guess, realization, and we don't offer people practical solutions. And the Prophet, he wasn't like that. He would say, Ajil as-suhoor, like delay the suhoor as much as you can, right? He wasn't telling them, you're doing this for Allah. Who cares about suhoor? Ajil as-suhoor, delay the suhoor. Eat it as late as you can. Right? Wa'ajil al-iftar, and make the iftar, right? Right? Some people, they fast. And then when they go pray Maghrib, the Imam wants to read like Surah Al-A'la, something like that. Just read Kawthar so we can eat. These people are hungry. No, I'm saying, it's almost like, it's almost like when the Imam takes the minbar for Jumu'ah and speaks for 45 minutes. Something in me is like, Habib, many of these are working men and women who, out of their love for their religion, would spend their lunch break like this. Maybe against some of the recommendations of colleagues, supervisors. You're going to make that difficult for them by giving a khutbah for 45 minutes? No, we should be better to the Muslims than this, man. It's almost like, I know this is your lunch break. And I know as I'm giving a khutbah, you're watching the clock. I gotta get back to work. Come on, Imam, I gotta get back to work. Whenever I see that anxiety, I speed the khutbah up. I know some people, they stress, nah, deen first. Forget your dunya. If I see people like sitting on their hands, sometimes they're trying to, show me that they agree with me so I can hurry up. I can see the relief when I say, Inna Allah wa malaikatuhu yusalluna ala nabi. I see, okay, he's finishing. but help the brother out. Help him out. But look, and if even though it's not recommended, promise him you make it through that first day, man. Whatever we're eating at the masjid, we'll give you 3 plates. We'll give you 3 plates. Don't worry about it. We'll make this. We're gonna help you, and we'll give you another one to take home for suhoor. We'll give you another one to take home for suhoor. You can do this, man. You can do this. So I would say, encourage him to fast. If he has no legitimate medical excuse, it would be a grave sin to miss a day of Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ said in an authentic hadith, whoever eats in the month of Ramadan, amdan, like intentionally, would not be able to make up for that day, even if they fasted an entire lifetime. Now think about that. They would not be able to make up in terms of the reward that was missed. You wouldn't get that day back if you fasted an entire lifetime. So think about, siyam, if you fasted an entire lifetime. So, give him those hadith. Islamic preaching has 2 components. Preaching in Islam has 2 components. There's targheeb. Targheeb is encouraging. And there's tarheeb, scaring people. That's how it goes. We go with targheeb first. Every good preacher, you always go with targheeb first. You encourage, you talk about the reward, and God with the breeze, and the method, and the help. But if that doesn't work, then we go with the targheeb. There's a fire in hell, and it's hot, But you go with the targheeb first. You do this. You got to go with the targheeb. You got to scare them first. Which. You know what, man? SubhanAllah. No, some people, See, a lot of us as converts, so much of our religious motivation is intrinsic. It comes from us that we totally don't understand the relevance of outside or external motivation. So even like my wife, who was raised as a Muslim, my wife had to teach me that because I'm a convert to Islam. So for like my daughter, my eldest, now don't laugh at me, but I would ask her, do you want to pray Tarawih? She would say no. I was like, there's no compulsory religion, right? I would tell her, no, these fara'id, these obligatory prayers, it is my job to make sure that you're doing that. But this, no, after, if you don't want to do it, it's your prerogative. So I would ask her every night, you want to pray Tarawih? No. I said, no. And my wife told me, she's going to continue to say no. Don't you get it? And I'm just like a convert. No, it's her prerogative. It's her deed. You know, she has ownership over it. She prayed Isha. I would argue with my wife. She prayed Isha. She fulfilled her obligation. If I force her to pray Tarawih, she won't get anything out of it anyway. Right? That was just my argument. And my wife said, no, it doesn't work like that. You give her a motivation. You pray Tarawih, you do your best, this is what I'll do for you. That reward, make the reward more proximate. Don't say, in heaven. No. You pray Tarawih, this is what I'll do for you. She said, by the third day, she keeps getting those $20 bills. She's gonna ask you, Dad, we going to Tarawih? I'm going to Tarawih. Where's Tarawih? Where's Tarawih? You get those $20 bills? I do this for the entire month, that's about $600. Yeah. So she said, and afterward, as her spiritual awareness grows, the reward from Allah will be more significant than $20. So sometimes you have to give somebody an external motivation. And this is not irreligious. As a convert, this violated my sense of what religion is about. Brother, we get through this day, I'll give you $20. I'll give you $30. You fast today, I'm gonna give you $30. And watch, depending on who the person is, I think I can do that. I think I can do that. And I think those of us who, are, inshallah, intrinsically motivated would see this almost as a violation. But it's not actually a violation. It's bringing the reward closer so that their faith can grow. Right? Allah is telling them there's reward, but you're just bringing the reward a little bit closer. Just bringing the reward a little closer. Right? They're still motivated to do it for Allah. Because if reward, this is me theorizing a little bit, if reward had nothing to do with it, then why would God tell you about heaven? If reward had nothing to do with it, if it was just, you do this because I'm God and you worship me, why would God tell you about heaven? No, because Allah understands what motivates us. Right? What did you say? Heaven? Okay. I'm coming a little closer to that. Right? Now, is that the highest level of faith? No. Offering somebody more proximate reward, closer reward, earthly reward, is just bringing everything a little bit closer. And then they grow. So, we can talk about, if you really laugh, he just a brother from around the way. I didn't even know about it. But if this is somebody who you like, man, this good brother, has a good heart, I really love him, but this new form, this hard form, we can devise something. We come up with something, try to give them some, encouragement. If it's just brother from around the way, look, that's between you and Allah. So I'm not but if it's somebody like, no, but I really love this person. This is a struggle for him. And we work something, we'll figure something out. Call, text, we'll figure something out. If he's one of your hit back, somebody you love like that, we'll figure it out. Like you say, you know him for a while. But if it's just a brother in the community, you still have to stand before Allah. You know, and if I were you, I would play it safe. If I were you, I would play it safe. But it is something people get to determine for themselves. Other questions?
What about like on the flip side of that, where you're like pushing yourself, let's say you are sick and pushing yourself to fast.
يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. You know, Allah does not want hardship for us. Allah desires ease for us. So if a person is sick, it is totally legitimate to break their fast.
Like, is it disliked about it, but really trying to like.
No. Actually,
like, there's times where you're.
this is where you have competing religious principles. One, Allah does not want hardship for you. Allah wants ease for you. The other, al-ajru ala qadri al-mashaqqa. So that if a person does, fight through, the reward will be increased on account of their mashaqqa, on account of their difficulty. So sometimes when I travel, I still fast. Right? Sometimes when I travel, I still fast.
Don't want it to seem like you're like, oh, Allah will be merciful towards me.
Of course, but sometimes when I'm traveling, and sometimes when I'm traveling, I break my fast. It just depends on the circumstance. For me, it's never about the length of time. It's about access to suhoor. If I'm in a hotel room and I can't get to the masjid for suhoor, that'll be a day that I probably go fast. Only because I need the water. I need some hydration, right? So yeah, I think with things like that, you know yourself, but this is not mu'aqabah. This is not like for torture. God is not torturing you. This is not an iqab. It's not an adab. This is fasting. But you shouldn't, like, if a person is like, sick and weak and they can't move, and I'm fasting, man. It's like, Habib, no. This, whenever Allah mentions an exemption, it's an expression of His mercy. If you qualify for that exemption, to reject it could be a rejection of His mercy, right? If you qualify for it. If, on the other hand, you're not, you're okay, that's different. But if you're really like, I'm struggling here, then you should fast and rejoice in the mercy of your Lord. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not required me to do something that is, an inordinate hardship. Allah has not required that. Alhamdulillah. Other questions?
Follow up on that. You mentioned earlier, fast. If you don't fast, because you can't be safe, make excuses for that. It's going to take lifetimes to make up. But if you're your heart, you're sick, you can't make that up, correct?
Yeah, one day for day, with no kafara. If a person misses a day of Ramadan for a legitimate reason, you just qada. You just fast one day and you just make it up, right? If a person misses a day of Ramadan intentionally, the kafara is 60 days, shahraini mutatabi'ain, 60 consecutive days to make up for one day.
And then for the traveling piece, for the traveling part, to your point, I was going to ask you about that too, because obviously when that was back in the day, they're traveling across the desert, it's a lot more challenging versus now hopping on a plane.
A lot of people misunderstand.
Okay, yeah, I'm just curious about.
I travel a lot.
Yeah.
I was in Seattle yesterday. I was in Seattle yesterday. Sometimes I travel so much, I lose track of how much I travel. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh, you saw a picture. You saw a picture, mashallah." The Prophet alayhi wasallam said, "As-safru qit'atun min al-adab." Traveling is a piece of torment. يمنعك من طعامك وشرابك ونومك. It prevents you from your food and your drink and your sleep. The difficulty in travel is not the lack of creature comforts and accommodation. The difficulty in travel is uncertainty. That's the difficulty. The reason the traveler can shorten her prayers is because I'm new to this place. I don't know certain spatial realities. So if I'm having dinner, or say I'm having lunch, and it's 2 p.m., I have no idea in Boston how long it would take me. I don't know about traffic patterns. I don't know about other places that I could pray. So the concession of joining my prayers accounts for that uncertainty. I don't know anything about this place. I don't know, like I can't, like when I'm in Chicago, if we're serious about our salah, I have a plan. Like, one thing that I've observed about Muslims generally, and this is even me, we don't plan the day around the prayers. The prayers are shoved into the day. So I know that I have to go here, I have to go here, I have to do this. And Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, I'm just trying to, like, if I'm thinking about them, okay, I just, in the parking lot, just throw the mat down and just, or the prayer is supposed to be the thing around which the day is planned. So you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna make Dhuhr, then I'm gonna go to lunch, then I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna make Asr this place, then I'm gonna make Maghrib on my way home, then I'll make Isha when I come. Like the day is planned around the prayers. Not like the day is planned, the prayers are just shoved in. When you're traveling, you're unable to do that because I don't know the landscape. I don't have the lay of the land. So you ask me, where are you gonna make Dhuhr? I don't know. Right? I don't know. Like if I'm going to a place, even considerations like, okay, 2 hours from now, I'll be in this place. Will there be a space to make wudu? I don't know. I don't know this place. Will the bathrooms be clean there? Will it be a place that I feel comfortable praying? I don't know. If I'm in Chicago, I can actually say, no, I'll be up by here. I know that I can just pray. And this is why when scholars are debating how long a person stays, you know, at which point does their status as a traveler, like at which point are they a resident? Some people say 4 days. Like in our school is 4 days. Yeah, 20 prayers. If you are in a place for 20 obligatory prayers, that is long enough for you to get that long enough for you to get, like, okay, I kind of got my bearings here and I kind of know what I'm doing. Some people say 14 days, 2 weeks. Shafi is say 14 days. So they're giving us more space for that. Hanafis never join their prayers, no matter what. They never join their prayers, no matter what. Now, but they shorten it. But my point is, it's all about that uncertainty. Fasting, the same thing. So if I'm fasting in Chicago, you best believe I know where I'm eating iftar. That is something I know at the beginning of the day. That's one of the first things we know. Iftar at Santa, iftar at DIC, iftar at Brew, iftar at Epic. We know that from the beginning of the day. If I'm traveling, I don't know any of that. This is why I'm allowed to eat. I don't know, will I have the time to make iftar? I don't know. So it's not about the lack of amenities. Now, give you guys a trick. Again, these are the hiyal of Islam. If a person is not permanently in a place, that period of being a traveler can be extended indefinitely. Don't do that. Meaning, like, if I'm there and I'm thinking, I might go back to Chicago on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. each day it's like my time is restarting. And I really don't know. Now, if I say I'm here Monday, my departure ticket is Saturday, then from the time I arrive, I should start making my prayers regularly at that time. But if I come Monday and I say, oh, I might leave Tuesday, then I can short my prayers, of course, for Monday and join them. Tuesday, I might leave Wednesday. I can short my prayers for Tuesday and join them. Wednesday, I might leave Thursday. Thursday, I might leave Friday. And the person can actually do that indefinitely. But don't do that. Like, I shouldn't even tell you guys stuff like that. You know? But there's always a difference between fatwa and taqwa. Yeah, can a person say, oh, I'm not ever here for 4 days. Every day I'm just here one day. I just don't know. But if they did that, Allah would know. Right? Allah would know. Just like this is one of my favorite, mashallah, I study Sharia at Azhar. One of my favorite rulings in all of Islamic law is that you can only join your prayers and shorten your prayers if the purpose of your trip is halal. Because Allah does not facilitate evil. So if I'm going down to Mexico to pick up 2 kilos of cocaine, I gotta make all my prayers on time, full length. I don't get to join my prayers. I'm going to pick up 2 loads. So if you see a Muslim and he's traveling, he's making all his prayers on time, don't you want to join your salah? What I'm going down there for, I can't join my prayers and I can't shorten them. He said, oh no, you can only, I thought, what a beautiful rule. If the purpose of your trip is haram, you cannot join your prayers and you cannot shorten. That's across this, you cannot join your prayers, you cannot shorten. Because Allah will not facilitate you doing evil. Yeah, you can't. You go to pick up the loans from El Paso. I know you go get them. You know what I mean? Nah. And look, I'm talking about. I was teaching this. I'm not gonna say where. And a brother really looked up and said, "For real? What I'm going about my heroin, man, I can't." No. Hey, I've been joining my prayers. I'm gonna pick up that brown stuff. No, you cannot join your prayers, and you cannot shorten. Make sure you tell people that mess shit down. Make sure you tell them. Give us the line to the front. Make sure you tell them. When they go to pick up that, they cannot shorten that prayer. They cannot join. Crazy, man. I kid you not, man. This Muslim community is just a unique collection of people. And you have some people struggling to somehow, still make it to Jummah or still, and for those people, I don't want any of you to be those people, but I have a certain respect for them. Because for them, their religion is not about psychological comfort. Because it can't be. I go to a place where I am preparing myself to hear, I'm a sinner. God is not pleased with my action. Like, I don't go to Jummah for pick-me-up. I go to Jummah because I believe it's my obligation. But I come through the door knowing, oh man, I'm about to get, oh boy, but I deserve it. I come through the door knowing, I know. And I often think, what's motivating a person like that? Because I think many of us now, we're so addicted to just comfort. And we want everything to validate us, everything to confirm us, everything to affirm us. And sometimes if it doesn't, we reject it. If it doesn't affirm me, if it agitates me, if it makes me uncomfortable, I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't want to hear this. But somebody that actually has the sincerity to listen to something that could suggest to them that they're wrong, that you're living wrong, but that they can actually sit there and take it. I think that person is special. Just like the sister that makes the 100 every night. It's special, but That person, but the sister that makes the hajj, she's about to go to Juma and, get big up. She can sit in Juma and think, they're all striving to be like me. They're all striving to get to my level. They all wish they were like me. I know. Go ahead, Imam. Talk about the fadail of Hajj. And then I've rehearsed looking like I'm someone who doesn't make the Hajj. When you say all of the virtues of the Hajj, I'm going to go like this. Oh, subhanAllah. Whoa. I didn't know that. I memorized it. Right? But the person coming to Jumu'ah to get different kind of person that, I came to the door expecting to get slapped around a little bit. Inshallah. Other questions? Yes.
And this is a bit of a digression from Ramadan and everything, but last week we talked about miracles, and my understanding is that the only miracle that's left is our ability to see dreams. And so what is the point between interpreting them in an Islamic sense versus getting carried away and we're not taught this ourselves.
Not miracles, but revelation. Revelation. The Prophet ﷺ said that revelation ends with him. Khatam al-Anbiya'i wa Rusul. But the last part of revelation that will remain until the day of judgment is Ru'yat as-Sadiqah, right? Is a true dream. This is an authentic hadith. No one denies this. And dream interpretation is a speculative science, meaning it's not, and some people, I think a lot of people that have been reared in a Western intellectual culture have difficulty with speculative sciences. We want something that either is verifiable and falsifiable as knowledge, or it's hogwash. That's kind of where we live. We don't really have the patience for something that is a type of knowledge, but its findings can never be definitive. I don't care how knowledgeable the scholar is. If the scholar offers an interpretation of a dream, it's a speculative enterprise. He's not telling you something that's 100%, this is 100% true. He's offering an interpretation of the dream based on hopefully his experience and the experience of people that have trained him or her experience and the experiences of people that have trained her. And I think people who offer dream interpretation, they have to continually, if they're sincere, check their findings. So if I tell you this is what I think, I should ask you a few months later, how did that turn out? If you say, no, it was nothing like that, I say, okay, duly noted. Oh, okay. But if you say, no, actually, what you said was, then that should also be noted, right? Because, people see things in dreams, and dreams are, subhanAllah, dreams are really a very mysterious aspect of our existence as human beings. But there are dreams of just adghaf al-ahlam, like just a medley. Adghaf al-ahlam is like just a medley. You ate too much guacamole on your taco. You just were seeing all kinds of stuff. It has no meaning. And then there are dreams that are very significant and deeply meaningful, right? How do we know? There's no definitive way of knowing, but the surest way of knowing is probing your heart after you wake up. See, when you have a dream that's just I don't even, it's almost like the dream doesn't make the same kind of deposit within your soul. And when you have a dream that you wake up and you sit there, you feel like something is being communicated. And you usually remember the dreams that are significant. The dreams that aren't, they're quickly forgotten. Like I just remember them in fragments. Like I was on a BMX bike, then I ate a taco, and then my wife said, "Dude, you're snacking. Is the taco that good?" And then I woke up. I don't know. Right? I don't know. But the dreams that are significant, right, are usually dreams that I wake up and I usually have pause. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. You know, now I'm not a big dreamer. I don't remember my dreams often. So when I have a dream that I remember, that's always significant to me. I'm not a person, I don't remember my dreams often. Right? Sometimes I don't remember my dreams, but I can feel the happiness that I felt in the dream. Like I wake up and I'm like, something good was happening. And then sometimes I can feel my fear from my dream. I can feel like my remorse from my dream. Like I've had dreams that I just woke up, I was like, no. And then just the relief at learning it was just a dream. Have you ever had a dream like that? Like, no, wait. It was just a dream. You're like, it's just a dream. Oh my goodness. It was just a dream. Right? So I have that experience. I don't have like a lot of vivid dreams. If you are someone that does have vivid dreams, keep a notepad on your nightstand, jot down some of the details of the dream, and start to look for patterns in how you dream. Short little, notes, setting, feeling, memories, right? And then start looking for certain patterns in how you dream. But yeah, no, dreams can be sources of revelatory truth, and dreams can just be dreams. And there's no one that can say this dream is that, and this dream is that, and this dream is that, and this dream is that. It's a speculative enterprise. It's not something that now there is a way that dreams can be confirmed. Dreams can be confirmed by reality, right? But that's always a retrospective confirmation. Like you can have a dream about something, and then it's like, she did say yes. You know what I'm saying? She did say yes. I saw her in my dream. I saw her in my dream. And sometimes that really does happen. Like dreams are really, dare I say in a Muslim context, magical. You really see things in your dream that you're just like, how did that really happen? That really happened. I experience the phenomenon of deja vu sometimes. But I don't think it's, of course, as a Muslim, I don't think it's like a past life. I think something I dreamed about is happening. Right? I had a dream about this, and now it's happening. Right? I have that happens to me sometimes. And it's like I might not even remember the dream. I just like step into a room and it looks familiar. And that's when it hits me. This isn't I dreamed about this. I dreamed about this. Right? And I've had experiences like that. Where I dreamed about something and next time, I dreamed about this. Right? So sometimes dreams are, harbingers to things that are going to happen. And sometimes dreams are just like, you should have had some sour cream on your, that's dreams. But they can be sources of great and deep and profound truth. So, monitor them, take them seriously. Who here has a science background? How do scientists explain dreams? What are they saying about dreams? Like, is it like, I don't know, some kind of neurological activity, or how do they talk about dreams?
My understanding is that they're residual thoughts. So like things that you were thinking about, but then kind of like being stored or filed as you sleep, because like your brain is active when you sleep and it's like kind of digesting the things that you've learned. So like these are like visuals.
The visuals that come out and subhanAllah. So so that would make dreams kind of a product of thoughts.
Sort of, yeah.
Right? So yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's why I dream about money so much.
What
I mean, if you're saying like residual thoughts, how about when you're thinking of when you said it's like a deja vu, when you like have a dream about something that's come or.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So it's yeah. I think وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّنَ الْعِلْمِ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. God says, of knowledge you've only been given a small amount. And you know, for us, people that live after like the Copernican revolution, we should see the world and all of the natural phenomena within the world is just like an evolving, it's almost like we know what we know. Who knows what will be known after 2024 more years? Let's say, oh no, what the knowledge they had was primitive. This is what it really is. This is the real deal, right? And I think that every it's amazing. Sometimes I think even some of the truths of Revelation that people find difficult to wrap their minds around. I mean, what if people in 3,000 years they wouldn't find that? Oh, that's known. That's known. That's a known thing. So yeah, I think dreams are one of those things that I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if scientists were like, we're still learning, right? We're still learning, what produces dreams, where they come from, what they are, because they can be a source of revelation.
Two things you mentioned today. You said that bringing the reward closer, as monetary, for example, as compared to heaven. The second thing, so bringing the reward. Oh, and then the fact that like now in Western academia or just the way we live our society, it's very factual based, very evidence based, whatever, science based, everything's backed. So in Islam, generally, a lot of it is faith. You just have to believe this is true. This is, how do we in our Western theology, Western upbringing, how do we bring God closer to us in a feeling where, of course, it's not like you can prove, oh, here's evidence-based, whatever, that God is real or that this is true, so how do we bring it as Muslims growing up here?
The thing about bringing the reward closer, it's just accounting for personal growth, in people. I think, it's beautiful when we think about something like physical health. We tend to think in gradations. Person says, I'm 30%. This is how they talk about athletes, especially. He's 65%, he's 70%. But when we think about mental health or things that are less tangible, we think about them in absolutes. A person is crazy or not, right? A person that has faith or unfaith. They have faith or kufr. When actually, I think, just like in terms of physical wellness, I think spiritual wellness, mental wellness, I think they also kind of exist kind of in these kind of graduated successive like steps. So a person might not be in a place like, there is no God, I don't believe any of it, none, done. But they might not be at a place like, I'm ready to forego eating and drinking for 15 hours for a heavenly reward. They might not be there, but they might not be like, there's no God, I don't believe it. They may be somewhere there. So for that person, if you can bring the reward a little closer, say, well, if you do this, I'll give you $25. Well, okay. And what usually happens is that as the reward is being brought closer, something about what they're doing, it begins to make sense to them. Right? It begins, okay, so I'm doing this for $25. The $25 will help me in these ways. What will help me when I die? The $25 will not. Right? Clearly, I want to help myself. Right? I want to help myself. Imam Ghazali, he said in his Ihya Ulumuddin, said, if you want to convince somebody of why it's necessary to worship Allah. All you need to talk to them, all you need to do is talk to them about means and ends. Means and ends. He said there is a certain kind of integrity in human beings that usually when a person does something, they're doing it because they want to secure a certain end. It's not about the food. It's about satiating your appetite. It's not about the money. It's about something you'd like to do with the money. It's not even about the thing you want to do with the money. It's about a satisfaction that you feel after doing it. It's all about what you want. It's like, what do you really want? And he says that tasalsul will always lead back to God. It's like, why are you doing this? Why? It's like, why are you doing this? Because I want to feel good. Why do you want to feel good? It always leads back to God and the meeting with God. So the only thing bringing the reward closer is doing is, okay, I see you can't get from here to here. Maybe you can get from here to here, right? You want to do this to help yourself, I'll get you. This is especially helpful for children. Especially helpful. You memorize this surah, I'll give you candy. Right? If I say memorize this surah, and you will be one of the people that have preserved the part of God's book in you, I'll give you some candy. I want the candy, right? But that window, it kind of opens. In terms of, Western epistemology and how we understand knowledge, most people, there's a good book by Thomas Kuhn about the philosophy of science. And basically, I'm summarizing like a 600-page tour de force in 2 words. But basically, he says that what makes the scientific method is that we believe that there is a lot that is unknown that is knowable. That, like, if we really believed that knowledge was a fixed entity and there was nothing to be known, there would be no science, right? It's the open end of science that makes experimentation possible. It's the fact that we're thinking there's a lot out there that is not known but can become knowable. If a person restricts their knowledge to what is concretely and empirically known, that's anti-science. You have to open yourself to the unknown, what is not yet known. Faith does that with regard to realities that are not just physical, because the object of modern or any kind of scientific inquiry is the physical. That's why, the most honest scientists, Stephen Jay Gould and Stephen Hawking and people like that, they would just say, I don't believe in God. But the question is not a scientific one. See, that's an honest person. I don't believe in God. But I at least have enough integrity to say it's not a scientific question because it's not a physical reality that can be tested. It's not that. It's a different kind of reality. It belongs to a category of knowledge people used to refer to as metaphysical, right? It transcends the physical. It's something else. Now, if a person says, I restrict my exploration of what can be believed to the physical, then they can't believe in God. And this is why first ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, الَّذِينَ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْغَيْبِ. You have to believe in the unseen. If you're someone that says, look, if it's not empirical, if it's not physically falsifiable, then I just can't pay attention to it. I can't consider it. Then this is precisely what makes someone a materialist. But how much of life is immaterial? Love, consciousness, being. I mean, how much of life is like, how much of life is just material? So I feel like a person that completely denies an existence of the metaphysical, like they deny the existence of a soul. Like they really feel there is no soul. Because that, again, soul, that's a metaphysical reality. That's not a physical reality. Because I don't believe in soul. I don't believe in anything like that. I would just ask them, what is their experience of life and love and nature and solitude and quiet and art and poetry? You don't feel like your ability to recognize the beauty of those things is not an extension of some immaterial part of who you are. If they don't, they just don't. But when I think about, for instance, like just how I love my wife, and if you see her, make sure to tell I said it. I always need points, keys to get out of the doghouse that I live in. It's not just if somebody said, no, it's just an increase in dopamine and serotonin. It's not that isn't true. That's not a satisfactory explanation. I'm not satisfied with that. No, it's just a chemical reaction. It's something you feel, it's just a chemical reaction. It's not really, no, that doesn't satisfy me. No, my experience of it, even if it's ineffable, even if I can't put it into words, my experience of it is something other than that. My experience of being alive, my experience of being human, my experience of being uniquely conscious as a human. Science just doesn't have the categories or the language to capture what I feel. That's why I'm religious. You see what I'm saying? Meaning there's something I'm trying to capture. And what I say to my friends that are, materialists or atheists, is that don't you think it's strange that for 95% of our species existence, the majority of us have always tried to capture the metaphysical significance of life, human beings. This is 95% of, I would even go 99% of the human beings that have walked this earth have tried to capture some kind of metaphysical significance to why they're here, why they exist. To me, that's a proof that this is a human unresolvable, a human insoluble. Like there's something there, all of us, from Buddhists to Muslims there's something that we're trying to articulate, but I think it's based on a deep feeling. There's something that we feel. So a person saying to me, all of life is just an elegant dance to nowhere. I can't believe it. It just, my experience is not reflective of that. It's like, no, something is happening here. Something is happening here, right? And that for me is the beginning of my religious quest. That I look at myself, I look at my life, I look at my impending death, and I think, no, something is happening. Something is happening. Something is happening here. And the Quran is unique among scriptures because the Quran drives that theme. Do you think you were just created وَتُتْرَكُ suda? You think you really, like Allah, Islam is one of the only religions that asks just pointedly. You really think all of this, have you ever been to the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls? You think all of this was just for nothing? You really think that? No. Impossible, right? I mean, really? You really think all of this was for nothing? A friend of mine said, basic scientific theory. He says, order descends into chaos. Chaos never becomes order. That doesn't happen. So order descends into chaos. But they're saying now the world began as chaos and this kind of ordered itself. You really think all of this order, all of this symmetry is just, oh, you know, could have gone either way. That would have been very dramatic if I did. That's what I'm gonna do when they invite me to speak to a conference of atheists. I'm gonna say, you really think all of this order is just something? No, it's a, you know, it's kind of, it's something that you can say with your mouth. It's something the soul will have a very difficult time accepting. This is just an absurd existence. And this is why kufr in Arabic literally means to cover something. Right? That's how we understand kufr. The etymological meaning of kufr, like in Egypt, there's the term kafar al-sheikh. Kafar al-sheikh. It doesn't mean the sheikh became a kafir. It's a farmer. He puts the seed in the ground, he covers it with the dirt. Because Allah is saying the soul knows something is going on here. Right? Something is going on here. The soul knows. You can cover it. Oh no, I don't even think about it. No, the soul knows. I read a good book called Islam Between East and West. Read that book. Ali Izetbegovic, a former president of Bosnia, and he does something really interesting. He looks at art. He says, you know, art is a confirmation of, you know, because Western people love art, right? But art is a confirmation that we believe that there's something otherworldly about the human soul, right? Because if you don't believe in God, then you can't really believe in human beings. Right? Human beings are just creatures. There's nothing special about them. They're just creatures. They're just creatures. But no, the way that we regard our art, our poetry, our architecture, even the way we talk about those things, we see them as articulating something significant about this creature, man and woman. So there's something about us that we know that. You can't love art and think, no, we're just into each other. No, there's something going on. So look at that book. He does a very good job of using art to say that you know that there's something going on. You know there's something significant about this creature. This is not just, you know, life, death, no meaning, absurdity. There's something else. The Quran is saying, look for that. Look for that. And this will lead you to submission. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wal-'asr. إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. No, I'll be here on the same time, I think. Is that what the deal is?
Same time, do you want to finish?
Yeah, we'll finish in 15 minutes early.
45.
This, run the jab. This is the